What's going on, y'all? Welcome back to the channel. So we just got back from the last Truck Tug of War event. It's over at the barn in Sanford, Florida, hosted by Trucks Gone Wild. It was a pretty awesome event. We got all kinds of truck tug matches. Got a pretty good video, so if you guys didn't check that video out, make sure you check that out. It's on the channel. We also ended up winning the Killin the Game award. Where's my belt at? I'm gonna show y'all. There she is, right freaking there. Look at that. Killing the freaking game. Hell yeah, brother. Thing is legit too. It's leather. It's got real like metal plates on it. Freaking super kick-ass. But anyways, everything didn't run quite as well as we had hoped. Truck did pretty good for the first round. We had 2 matches in that round. Everything held up, no problem at all. And then we started getting a little bit spunky with it, a little carried away. And we had some problems. Now the issue is actually right on up in here. You can kind of see it. It's right there. So my hood stack pipe usually connects right to this pipe and then goes up and out the hood up yonder. But this up pipe right here, there is a slice in it. I'll be able to post a picture actually because I took a picture earlier to send it to the mad scientist. But anyways, right up top of that elbow, right on up there. Here's this picture. All right, yeah, you probably saw a whole lot better from the picture. Anyways, that up pipe's got a nice little rip in it. Probably from them damn Duramax bald eagles and that Turbski just freaking getting all them boosters just going and couldn't hold it together. Things made out of steel and even ripped it open. That's freaking real deal, I'll tell you what. So anyways, we had that problem, and then also, I don't know how the heck it happened, but my nitrous solenoid is mounted right on the intake, like hard mounted, and somehow that fitting snapped off. I don't know, maybe it got bumped when we were moving stuff around trying to figure out where exactly the exhaust leak was coming from. Possibility. I doubt it broke from boost or anything like that. I'm not running that much pressure. So I'm gonna go with it probably got knocked into, but ended up snapping off. Here's a picture of that. So, ended up getting the nitrous all fixed. Had to disassemble the entire intake manifold and everything again. Basically, rip it all down, pull the airbox out, pull the nitrous solenoid off, redo the wiring for it, and then I just used a piece of steel. Before it had like an aluminum piece that was like the nozzle that goes into the intake. Well, I replaced that with a piece of steel that I got from Nitrous Express. So now, don't think that'll ever happen again because that thing is rock solid. It's Schedule 80 wall thickness, so it's freaking real deal. Anyways, that's all the problems that we had with the truck. Pretty kick-ass, not gonna lie. I was actually pretty friggin' nervous because when we pulled over, it probably is in that truck tug video, you probably tell. I was like, oh no, we might have just blown the motor. Especially because Superpower Bo was there. He's super knowledgeable about diesel engines. He came over and he's like, dude, I think you might have just screwed up one of your cylinders. Your engine might be shot. Ugh, not something you want to hear. Mad Scientist wasn't there to freaking keep my mind at ease. JH was having all kinds of issues with his truck. He had a little electrical fire. That's all in that video too. But anyways, yeah, I think we're doing okay. I'm going to count it as a win. We got a freaking super bitch and super killing it belt. Definitely a good night. So now that y'all are up to snuff on what's going on with the truck, I got to replace that up pipe. So talk to Mr. JH to ask him what all's involved with that because as I've told many of y'all many times, I'm still kind of learning the engine bay. From the frame down, yeah, I think I know every nut and bolt of this freaking truck. As far as the engine bay of it though, I'm still kind of learning a lot of it. So Justin says that they've swapped out those up pipes many a times, many different Duramaxes. Him and his crew have pretty good luck with them, don't really have any issues. I was hitting up YouTube to see what's involved. So it's not really too hard, not too complicated. There's just a few bolts you got to take out. They're kind of hard to get to. It's a little bit inaccessible because especially the ones towards the center, they're like, I can kind of show you. There's tons of videos on YouTube that freaking explain all this too. They're like way up in there. Yep. Like up yonder. Not the easiest thing to get to. Some people say you can access them from the top. Some people you access them from the bottom. Kind of depends what video you're watching and what instructions you're reading. Kind of a spookier part to that though is I watched 3 different videos and on all 3 videos the guys broke off a bolt. 2 of them broke off bolts on the manifold side. 1 guy broke off a bolt on the freaking turbo pedestal. Not ideal. I'm kind of in a time crunch though because next weekend is Plant Bamboo and I didn't even get to go to the last Plant Bamboo because the truck was all apart. So I don't want to miss this one. So guess you freaking saving the day. JH Diesel himself, freaking real deal. So he said, just go ahead, order the parts, get them as soon as you can, get the truck to me as soon as you can, and we'll get it knocked out for you. So that's exactly what I'm doing. Got the engine bay all put back together from redoing the nitrous, checked all the oils, greased all the fittings, got everything all dialed in. So we're ready to go for Bamboo, except for that exhaust leak. So I'm gonna load the truck up now, take it on over to Justin's house, and he said just leave it somewhere in the yard, and his guys will get to it whenever he can. But he promises it'll be done by Plant Bamboo. Boom, super bitch. Oh yeah, one other little thing that we did. I think it looks super freaking cool. So Mikey's Custom Coatings. He's always like making my truck look super fresh. Well, look at what he done did. I don't know if you all know a comparison because I should have done it before, but I freaking forgot. I was kind of in a rush. But look at that transmission. Oh, God. Oh, God, man. That's the real deal right there. And look at the transmission mount. Holy Toledo. I wish I could have freaking done it before because that thing looked total bag, okay? That transmission pan was rough. So was the transmission mount. It was black, but when we sandblasted the truck, because we had to, oh, that's a whole nother mess. When we painted the truck, when we were building it in a mega truck, we actually had to paint it twice because the first time we painted it, let it dry for like a week to make sure it was cured out, and paint started peeling off. I actually pressure washed all the paint off the subframe. Oh, not a fun day. We'll get to all that in a different video. When we sandblasted the truck to get the remaining paint off that didn't come off with the pressure washer, the guy got a little careless with the sandblasting and might have sandblasted some of the parts of my truck. That's why we repainted it not that long ago. Sandblasted some of the bumper. That's why Mikey repowder coated it not that long ago. And he got my transmission pan pretty good. It was originally black with little pepper shots of silver in it. It was like a two-tone type effect, but not intentional two-tone. Now look at it. That thing is looking super freaking good. Transmission mount. Oh, God, it all looks so good. So pretty. That nice pretty blue. Man. Dialed in. Mikey's Custom Coatings freaking cranked it out of the park again. Well, anyways, that's all going on with Mr. Killin It this morning. So I'm going to get the truck all loaded up on the trailer and head on over to JH Diesel. Well, just like that, we are lock loading, heading on over to JH Diesel. Look at that. We even got the mega truck back there. Hell yeah. I ain't gonna lie, I'm a little bit nervous taking the mega truck on over because if y'all know Mr. JH, he is very hard on stuff. And he's quite a jokester. So it's a little bit nerve-wracking leaving your mega truck at his house for multiple days. Nah, I'm just kidding. He would never break nobody's stuff without asking first. Well, now that I got a little drive ahead of me, figured, well, what a great chance to be able to talk about Mr. JH for a minute. Super good dude. He is a freaking character. I hand it to him. But he was very instrumental in first getting my truck started. I know I kind of briefly touched on it in a bunch of my other videos, but figured I might as well go ahead and dice into it because we got a little bit right ahead of us. So JH was the first person that introduced me into like riding in mega trucks. And like the possibility of even having one. I think I'd been going to RYC for a couple years prior to me knowing Justin. And definitely been watching the stuff on TV for years and years before that. But when Justin actually built his truck, I don't even remember how long ago that was. That had to have been like 5 years ago, maybe now, 6 years ago, something like that. When he finally built his truck and got it complete, and I got to go for a couple rides in it, I was like, oh God, so this is possible. I could maybe have one of these freaking things. And then really Justin was what got the ball rolling for me actually even building a truck or even attempting to start building a truck. I was daily driving the Killin It truck. It had like a 12-inch lift kit and 37s on it. It was pretty sweet looking. It had some American Forces, had ladder bars, a bunch of color match powder coating and stuff, had dual shock hoops on the front. It was a pretty cool looking truck. Check it out. Not too bad for a freaking street truck, but it was probably like maybe a couple years after, maybe a year or so after Justin had finished his truck that I really started. That was probably one of the biggest things that Justin had to deal with for me. That must have been a pain in the ass, is I was driving him nuts with questions about what's involved with building one of these because I knew nothing about it. I'm still obviously learning all the time, but I had not even a tenth of the knowledge I have about him now. So about what the first step is, I'm sure he remembers. Just about every time we'd hang out, sometime throughout the occasion, So what do you think would be the next step? And I'd have it all written down in the notes of my cell phone too. Every time he told me, well, we'd have to do this first, and then we'd have to do this, then we have to do this. I'd be taking mental notes, and then as soon as I had a second, I'd be typing it in the notes of my phone so I could try to remember as much of it as I could. But it was after probably a year or so of that, of just driving him nuts and trying to get as much knowledge as I could, figure out how much all this stuff is going to cost to do. Before I even start with step A, I like knowing what all the steps A through Z are. I don't know, it's a character flaw. But after about a year or so of driving him nuts with questions, finally, I was like, all right, Justin, I think I want to build a mega truck. Like, I want to I was called the Blue Demon at the time. It wasn't even called Killin It yet. Killin It hadn't even been born yet. But I was like, dude, I want to take the Blue Demon and I want to make a monster truck out of it. Kind of like yours, a little different style though. He immediately was right there to help me. He's like, all right, so what do you want to be different about it? I'm like, well, I like how your truck, like how it kind of wheels, because it's got the skinnier tires on. I didn't even know tire sizes at that time. Or drop boxes. I had no clue. Totally, I was like an elementary school student. I wanted to be a little bit taller, like the Yeti truck. Like that was one of my favorite trucks, like when I first started getting into the mega truck game. The Yeti truck, Frank Bagwell with this twisted performance truck, that thing was sick. You'll probably notice my truck kind of has similar characteristics of his. I really liked his a whole lot. And the big guns truck, obviously, I always freaking love that thing. And the construction development truck. If y'all haven't looked at that on YouTube, you need to check that out. Go on YouTube, type in construction development mud truck. That thing is a bad son of a bitch, I tell you what. God. So I know I went totally different route with a diesel and everything. And the two trucks that I just brought up were gas trucks. But I've always been into diesels. And JH Diesel happened to be the one that helped me get this thing started, so it all kind of fell into place. So Justin's like, all right, well, I'm thinking you're probably going to want 23 ones. Maybe we'll do a little wider rims, because obviously, I always love Monster Jam. I like those big, wide tires, but that was another stipulation. I was like, I see these guys on Sundays after an event is all over with their hangovers, and they're taking their trucks apart, taking the wheels off, and it sounds awful. Y'all, props to you guys that do that, 100%. I'm not one of them guys. I ain't going to do that. On Sunday morning, if I don't load it up Saturday night, Sunday morning, I want to be able to put my truck on the trailer, chain it down, and go. So that was kind of one of the main things that we built my truck around. It needs to be able to fit on a trailer without taking the wheels on and off it. So Justin's like, all right, you want 23 130s is what I'm thinking. I think he said 23 126s. And then it was even smaller than that. Anyways, we got 23 130s. So then he actually went through and figured out what size shocks I was going to need. He picked the 20-inch travel big shocks that we ended up getting. And then through bigshocks.com, Jared over there was able to figure out what the spring rate was going to be. As far as the drop case, Justin recommended SES gearbox. And really, I have no complaints about them other than they are noisy as hell sometimes. When you really get it a turning, that thing is a humming. But it hasn't broken or hasn't failed me yet, so no complaints at all. Thing is super bitchin'. Anyways, I don't want to get too carried away into every freaking detail of the truck build. Justin was extremely instrumental with getting all this stuff lined up, figuring out what shocks we needed, what drop box, what axles we needed to get, and where we needed to get them from. Basically, Justin was very instrumental in first getting the truck going. And to be honest with you, without me being buddies with Justin, I don't know if I would have ever actually built a truck. I don't know, because that's a big step. Like, I'm not rolling in freaking money. So to go and have like a additional truck that it becomes a monster truck and everything that's involved with building one, I don't know if I would have taken that step. That takes a whole lot of can-do attitude. I don't know if I had that much for the mega truck scene at that point. But I can honestly say that us pulling the trigger and actually getting my truck going and getting it complete is what really lit the fuse on a couple other trucks that happened to come about over the past couple of years. So super cool. So if you really think about it, a lot of it started because of you, JH. Good dude, man. Got a lot of us into the mud scene. Kept us out of trouble because we don't have any money for anything else because it all goes into our freaking trucks. Mr. JH, you're like the truck father. I actually took a picture the first day that it actually started becoming real, like when we started actually building the truck. It was when I gave Justin the check. I think it was for my shocks. It was the first thing that we bought. And look, here. Say pretty bitchin'. I even wrote on it back then and everything because I wanted to remember. That was a very memorable moment for me. But anyways, Justin helped the whole time with getting the truck going. Some of y'all are saying, well, then where did the mad scientist come in and how did he become a part of the scene and how did all that transpire? Short version of it, we were like just getting ready to start tearing the truck apart, making it a mega truck. And that's when I was really starting to hang out with Brian a whole lot. and he's like slowly just kind of became involved with it. And I'm super glad he did, because if he didn't get involved, I probably would still have a truck, but I'm telling you, there's no way in hell it looked like it does today. And those first initial few months of working on the truck, actually Brian and Justin worked together a lot to try to help me achieve what the hell we were trying to do. So really both of them had a huge hand in it, and I'm super grateful to have both of them be involved with it, because man, it's freaking a lot of fun now. I know I run into people all the time at the truck shows like, God, man, you must have, and they'll have all kinds of crazy figures and numbers that they throw out on the money they think I have in my truck. Well, that number is under lock and key, but I will tell you that there is no freaking chance in hell I'd have a truck like that if it wasn't for my friends. Every single one of them, especially if you kind of step back even further and look at the big picture. For one, I never would have started a truck without Justin. It wouldn't look like that without Brian. And even all my friends that have mega trucks, we're always inspiring each other to do new things. We'll come up with new ideas we're gonna do to our truck. We'll try it. If it works, like, oh, dude, you should do this to your truck, dude. Look at how freaking sick that looks. So cool. It's like a mega truck family. It's kind of like what I would refer to it as. But reeling it back into Mr. JH, wouldn't have a monster truck without you, brother. I know I tell you that all the time, and I know you know that, but sometimes it's good just to hear it. So I get asked all the time, who built your truck? It wasn't one person or one place or one shop that just, boom, the truck was there. That would have been sweet, but one, I can't afford that. And two, I don't know who would be able to do all the stuff that we did. Bobby is probably would be the main go-to, but he wasn't doing trucks back when we built this whole thing. He was kind of slowly getting into it. But JH was getting the ball rolling with freaking the mad scientist, coming up with all these cool ideas, how we improve stuff. We're constantly always still improving stuff. Even stuff we thought we'd already improved before, we go and re-improve it again. I think it's part of him being an engineer, honestly. But it is a process. I don't think you just wind up with a truck like that. So I don't want to try to list off everybody that was involved. As I come across different stuff in my videos, I try to shout them out as much as I can, because if I sat there and try to list them all, chances are I'd forget one or two, and then I'd feel like a shithead afterwards. That's why when I get asked that question, I just say my friends and I. That's the easiest way to do it, because literally, without my friends, I wouldn't have it. Without me, well, definitely wouldn't have it, because I wouldn't be here. Well, we're just getting off the exit here at JH Diesel's place. So I'm going to get over here, get the truck unloaded, get on back to the house, get dialed in, because we're going to actually the Monster Jam in Tampa tonight. Oh, super kick-ass. Hell yeah. It's going to be a great day. Got to work on the truck a little bit, getting it dropped off, and going to Monster Jam. It's a good Saturday in my book, tell you that. We have arrived. Let's see what the man is up to. Well, Mr. JH was doing some upgrades to that super badass pickup truck he's been taking to some of the mudding events lately, so I didn't want to bring my camera in and complicate things. But he says he should be able to get the truck knocked out no problem, and he actually had some really cool ideas that might even make it better than I was expecting. Ooh, I'm super pumped. So, fingers crossed he can get it done for Plant Bamboo. We'll see. All right, y'all, well, that didn't take too long. I didn't even make it all the way back to my house, and I got this video sent to me.
All right, guys, who's up for a little bogging session tonight? Because my boy Zach said, man, I feel bad your truck's been broke for this long. So what does he do? He's like, I'm going to leave my truck with you and basically just treat it just like you would treat your own. So I'm going to treat this thing like it's mine tonight. We're going bogging somewhere. I don't know where yet. Just want to say thanks, Zach. Truck's looking good. It's about to look a lot better when it's covered in mud tonight. Dude, you're the best.
Nah, see, I told you all he's a freaking jokester. Definitely had me going, oh no. Anyways, I hope you all enjoyed the video. I know this is a little different than most of the stuff that I post. It was a lot of me just talking. Sometimes it's kind of cool to know where stuff came from and how things transpired and where they originated from and how they got where they're at. So, hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks for watching, y'all. If y'all enjoyed the video and want to check out future videos, subscribe to our channel. Hit that button right there. While you're at it, hit the like button at the bottom of your screen. You can also check out our website, killin'itlifestyle.com. There you can follow the Killin It crew and order your own apparel so everyone will know you're Killin' It.